The Order of the Red Banner of Labor was an order of the Soviet Union established to honor great deeds and services to the Soviet state and society in the fields of production, science, culture, literature, the arts, education, health, social and other spheres of labor activities. It is the labor counterpart of the military Order of the Red Banner. A few institutions and factories, being the pride of Soviet Union, also received the order. The Order of the Red Banner of Labor began solely as an award of the Russian SFSR on December 28, 1920. The all-union equivalent was established by a decree of the Presidium of the Supreme Soviet on September 7, 1928 and approved by another decree on September 15, 1928. The order's statute and regulations were modified by multiple successive decrees of the Presidium of the Supreme Soviet of the USSR on May 7, 1936, on June 19, 1943, on March 28, 1980, and on July 18, 1980. Award Statute. The Order of the Red Banner of Labor can be awarded to citizens of the USSR, to businesses, associations, institutions, organizations, and allied autonomous republics, territories, autonomous regions, districts, cities and other localities. It may also be awarded to persons who are not citizens of the USSR, as well as to enterprises, institutions and organizations located in foreign countries, for great achievements in the development of industry, agriculture, farming, construction, transport and other sectors of the economy, to improve the efficiency of social production, for the highest growth rates in labor productivity, improve product quality, development and introduction of more advanced manufacturing processes, for consistently high results in the implementation and over-fulfillment of planned assignments and socialist obligations undertaken, for major advances in increasing the productivity of agricultural crops and the productivity of livestock breeding, increasing manufacturing output and sales of state agricultural products, for contributions in the development of science and technology, the introduction of the latest achievements in the national economy, for inventions and innovations which are of great technical, economic significance, for contributions in strengthening national defense, for very fruitful activities in Soviet culture, literature and the arts, for contributions in education and communist political education to the younger generations, in highly specialized training, health, trade, catering, housing, utilities, housing, public services, for special achievements in the development of physical culture and sports, for important achievements in the field of state and public activities, the strengthening of socialist legality and the rule of law, for great achievements in economic, scientific, technical and cultural cooperation between the USSR and other states. The Order of the Red Banner of Labor could be awarded multiple times to the same recipient for successive deeds and long-time merit. The Order of the Red Banner of Labor was worn on the left side of the chest and in the presence of other awards of the USSR, was located immediately after the Order of the Red Banner. If worn in the presence of orders or medals of the Russian Federation, the latter have precedence. Award description. The design of the Order of the Red Banner of Labor evolved over the years. Its original design, called Type 1, was amended in 1936. This new variant will be identified as Type 2. The Type 1 order consisted of a 38 mm wide by 43 mm high silver badge in the shape of a cogwheel at center, a disc bordered along its entire outer diameter by panicles of wheat, protruding from under the lower half of the central disc, a red enameled triangle pointing downwards. On the central disc in the background, a hydroelectric dam at center, a gilded hammer and sickle at the top, a waving red banner bearing the inscription, "Proletarians of the world, unite." At the very bottom of the cogwheel, the relief inscription USSR on a stylized horizontal shield bisected by a smaller cogwheel meshing into the larger one. On the otherwise plain reverse, a recess at center bearing a threaded post, 2 rivets used to secure the hammer and sickle, and the award serial number engraved on the lower portion opposite the USSR inscription. The order was secured to clothing with a threaded screw and nut arrangement. The earlier nuts were 28 mm in diameter, later ones measured 32 mm. The Type II order also consisted of a silver badge in the shape of a cogwheel. It measured 38 mm wide by 44 mm high. On the lower circumference of the cogwheel, the relief inscription, "Proletarians of the World, Unite." Below the cogwheel, a red enameled relief 5-pointed star superimposed on a shield from which 4 short panicles of wheat protrude left and right. At the center, a disc surrounded by a gilded wreath of oak leaves bearing the relief image of a hydroelectric dam. Below the dam, blue enameled water. At the center of the disc, the gilded hammer and sickle. From the inner left side of the disc, a gilded mast bearing a waving red enameled banner protruding from the central disc, covering the upper portion of the cogwheel and protruding past its outer upper edge, on which USSR is inscribed in gilded letters. Along the outer circumference of the central disc's wreath, white enameled slots spaced equally on the cogwheel. On the otherwise plain reverse, a concave recess at center bearing a threaded post, 8 rivets used to secure the various parts to the badge and the award serial number engraved on the lower portion below the recess. The order was secured to clothing with a threaded screw and a 33 mm in diameter nut until 1943, when it was secured by a ring through the metal suspension loop to a pentagonal mount covered by an overlapping 24 mm wide light blue silk moire ribbon with 4 mm wide dark blue edge stripes. Recipients. The individuals listed below were recipients of the Order of the Red Banner of Labor. The first recipient of the Order of the Red Banner of Labor of the RSFSR was Nikita Menchukov for saving an important bridge from being destroyed by flowing ice. Order of the Red Banner of Labor of the USSR No. 1 was presented to the Fdutil works in Leningrad. The first individual awardees were V. Fdutil, Shelegin and M. Kyatkovsky for the rescue of a polar expedition. Mikhail Gorbachev received the Order of the Red Banner of Labor for harvesting a record crop on his family's collective farm in 1949 at age 17, an honor which was very rare for someone so young. He is one of the order's youngest recipients. 6-time recipients: Believ Nikolai Maximovich, founder and head of the optical industry; Protazanov Alexander Konstantinovich, first secretary of the East Kazakhstan Party Organization; Smelyakov Nikolai Nikolaevich, minister of general machine building of the USSR, director of the factory Red Sormuvo. 5-time recipients: Green Arnold Karlovich, Soviet diplomat, party and state figure; Leontovich Mikhail Alexandrovich, physicist and academician; Alexenko Gennady Vasilyevich, a specialist in the field of energy; Belov Alexander Fedorovich, academician; Vlasiv Pavel Semenovich, hero of socialist labor, director of the Novosibirsk chemical concentrates plant; Grafov Leonid Efimovich, deputy minister of the coal industry; Grishin Ivan Timofeyevich, Deputy Minister of Foreign Trade; Gundobin Nikolai Alexeyevich, hero of socialist labor, first Deputy Minister of Transport of the USSR; Dokukin Alexander Viktorovich, corresponding member of the USSR Academy of Sciences; Ilyichev Leonid Fedorovich, Secretary of the CPSU Central Committee; Karlov Vladimir Alexeyevich, hero of socialist labor, department head of the CPSU Central Committee. PhD, Kurchatov Boris Vasilyevich, Doctor of Chemical Sciences. Malatin, Pavel Andreevich, Deputy Minister of Finance of the USSR. Petakov, Konstantin Dmitrievich, Hero of Socialist Labor, General Director of PEMSO, Dynamo. Romanov, Alexei Vladimirovich, Editor of the newspaper Soviet Culture. Sosnov, Ivan Dmitrievich, Minister of Transport Construction of the USSR. Tamara Khanum, People's Artist of USSR, Uzbek dancer. Chibisov, Konstantin, corresponding member of USSR Academy of Sciences. Four-time recipients Gamzatov Rasul Gamzadovich, poet. Ravodsky, Levko Mykolaievich, composer, teacher, and activist. Orujev, Sabitatayevich, Deputy Prime Minister of Azerbaijan SSR. Bilanchovadze, Andrei Melitonovich, composer. Vos, August Eduardovich, politician and party functionary. Dudenskaya, Natalia Mikhailovna, prima ballerina. Kapushin Arturovich, composer and music educator. Patriarch Alexei I, Patriarch of the Russian Orthodox Church. Ulinova Galina Sergeyevna, prima ballerina. Three-time recipients Chernenko, Konstantin Ustinovich, 5th General Secretary of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union. Andropov, Yuri Vladimirovich, 4th General Secretary of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union. Frumkin, Alexander Naumovich, electrochemist, hero of socialist labor. Yakovlev, Alexander Nikolaevich, politician and historian. Chakrai, Grigory Naumovich, film director and screenwriter. Begaliev, Sopubek Begalievich, politician. Kaplyushnikov, Matvey Alkunovich, mechanical engineer, hero of socialist labor. Flyorov, Georgy Nikolaevich, nuclear physicist. Pyotrovsky, Boris Borisovich, academician, historian, orientalist and archaeologist. Rajazad Shamal-Alievich, Deputy Prime Minister of Azerbaijan SSR. Kalatnikov, Isaac Markovich, physicist. Two-time recipients Tupolev, Andrei Nikolaevich, aircraft designer. Feoktistov, Konstantin Petrovich, cosmonaut and eminent space engineer. Khachaturian, Aram Ilyich, composer. Ginsburg, Vitaly Lazarevich, theoretical physicist, astrophysicist, Nobel laureate. Khrenikov Tikhon Nikolaevich, composer and pianist. Zeldovich Jakov Borisovich, physicist. Rajkov, Nikolai Ivanovich Rajkov, politician. Rodnina Irina Konstantinovna, Olympic gold medalist figure skater. Zulik Susid Memedova, fighter pilot. Ilyushin Vladimir Sergeyevich, test pilot. Vorontsov Yuli Mikhailovich, diplomat and ambassador. Arkady Ilyich Ostashev, laureate of the Lenin and State Prizes of the senior test pilot of missiles and space rocket complexes of OKB-1, the disciple and companion of Sergei Pavlovich Korolev. Single awards Layla Abashidze, actor and writer. Alexandrov Pavel Sergeyevich, mathematician. Chernomydan Viktor Stepanovich, Prime Minister of Russia. Clementine Churchill, Dioman Lev Stepanovich, cosmonaut. Ivan Gevorkian, prominent Soviet Armenian surgeon and scientist. Anatoly Karpov, world chess champion. Marcus Klingberg, Israeli scientist and Soviet spy. Kollontai Alexandra Mikhailovna, first female government minister in Europe, world's first female ambassador in modern times. Jack Littlepage, U.S. mining expert and Soviet deputy commissar. Vladimir Lobashev, physicist. Mikhail Leontievich, aerospace engineer. Sergei Orlov, sculptor and painter. Nikolay Paskevich, painter; Ivan Polubny, professional wrestler; Primakov Yevgeny Maximovich, Speaker of the Soviet of the Union of the Supreme Soviet of the Soviet Union; Rogozov Leonid, physician who took part in the 6th Soviet Antarctic Expedition in 1961. Arnold Ruftel, ex-president of Estonia; Semenov Nikolai Nikolaevich, physicist and chemist; Lyudmila Shevtsova, athlete, Olympic champion and 800 meters world record holder; Mikhail Shuisky, opera singer; Shukshin Vasily Makarovich, actor, writer, screenwriter and film director; Sukhmin Vladimir Moiseevich, orientologist, practitioner, diplomat in Central Asia and Iran, head of the Middle Eastern and First Eastern departments; Yakovlev Alexander Sergeyevich, aeronautical engineer; Yevtushenko Yevgeny Alexandrovich, poet, novelist, essayist, dramatist, screenwriter, actor, editor, and film director. Institutions, organizations, localities: Komsomol, Vilnius University, City of Kovrov, St. Petersburg State University, City of Mykolaiv, City of Podolsk, Bolshevika Clothes Factory, Zvezda State Newspaper, East Siberian Railway, National Library of Russia, Cuban State University of Technology, Moscow State University of Fine Chemical Technologies, 8th Soviet Rifle Division, Crimean Medical Institute.